You know, every year a whitetail deer sheds his antlers. That seems like something anybody watching a whitetail hunting show would know, but there are some people out there that, that don't understand that. But, each year they drop those antlers and they grow back a new set. And, it tends to be at different times of the year based on where you're at, and then obviously a little bit on range conditions. And, I've had an opportunity a couple times to go on some late season hunts where, I have seen deer that have already dropped one or both of their antlers while we've been out in the field. But now I've had something happen to me twice in my hunting career that is still mind-boggling to me this day. We were on a late season hunt in central Texas, and a huge cold front was coming in, and we were in that kind of a situation where there was a lot of deer coming off of a large bedding area up on a side of a mountain. And there was a couple of particular deer that we had had some history with on this particular piece of property that, we were kind of hoping that we would encounter while we were on this hunt.
You can tell it's late winter right now. I mean, everything's brown. There's no leaves left on the mesquites. It's just basically the end of winter. The bucks by this point of the year are pretty much done rutting. There may be a little bit of chasing on some, immature does late in the season, but right now a lot of these deer are kind of becoming buddies again. They're trying to feed up because it's cold. We've got a front that's going to hit tonight. It's going to drop the temperatures about 40 degrees by the same time tomorrow. If you look out in front of us, you can see there's a kind of a big hill, a big ridge, brush line, and these deer are going to funnel off of that as the evening begins to progress. They'll work across this ski flat and eat on what's left of this old food plot out here, and hopefully we can intercept them before they get all the way out there. Goal, just like always, look for a mature deer in this type of setup and see what we can get lucky on. Got a couple of does, probably 4 or 5 does actually out there. One young buck working his way. One big armadillo out there behind that furthest doe. Still real early. It's only probably 2:45, 3 o'clock. So, it's way early for a hunt like this time of the year. Be interesting to see what this impending run does to these deer. You would think you'd get the deer up on their feet, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. That's following the exact script we need them to, coming down that little flat way out there. Well, we got setting it down about 2:30 today, and it was 68. And as expected, we saw a lot of deer coming from different directions, just eventually working out in the field. You can see them out in the field right now where they've eventually all kind of worked their way towards. A lot of young bucks, a lot of small bucks. We just chose not to take any of them this afternoon. Maybe a good decision, maybe a bad decision. The front has just now arrived, just like it was supposed to. The wind's already blowing 15 plus. I mean, it sounded like a train when it was coming. Temperatures dropping. When we wake up in the morning, we really don't know what to expect. The forecast was for a winter weather advisory tonight. Temperatures are not going to get above freezing all day tomorrow, and the wind's going to howl. We might have some snow even on the ground, so we're going to ease on out of here, make a plan for in the morning, get something to eat, and hopefully we'll get lucky tomorrow.
Wade is in the middle of a late season hunt where a massive cold front has come through. What effect this has on the deer? Only time will tell.
Well, yesterday was in the 60s in this stand, and today it's like 22, 23, winds out of the north about 20. We missed all the bad weather, all the snow and ice went further south of us, but we definitely got the cold. Settled in here this morning, got on the ground, went ahead and put Jeff back up in the box blind. Me and Rusty sat here on the ground, and we saw a lot of deer. Saw a lot of the same deer that we decided not to shoot last night. A lot of times in this part of Texas, when it gets this cold, the deer don't really move. But our setup here is pretty unique, and I've hunted out of $5,000 box blinds, and I've hunted out of ground blinds that we've built and pop-ups and all that. But basically, right here, we've got a Clark and Michael special. We've got I don't know, this could be the door from an outhouse with a couple of locks on it, and a bunch of cedar limbs that have been cut down. got a rock to hold it up, a little bit of piece of rebar. But you know, the reality is it's working real good. There's a few deer that have kind of picked us off, but we've got good cover above us and behind us. And with the exception of it being so cold, we can't feel our toes. You know, we're still feeling pretty excited about an opportunity for a mature buck. We're going to go back and eat some pancakes and eggs, and we'll probably get back out here fairly early tonight, because I think these deer will get up, get on their feet, you know, pretty early. Do the same thing we saw last night, except it's going to be about 45, 50 degrees cooler.
You know, I've hunted when it's been over 100 degrees for whitetail deer, and I've hunted when it's been 0. And the good thing about it is I was hunting, and obviously you're dressed totally different in each one of those situations, you know, but you know, thanks to today's modern technology, you can adjust your clothes and your gear and your hunting situation where you can somewhat enjoy 100 degrees and somewhat enjoy 0 degrees. But I'm saying those are both, you know, far ends of the spectrum, but you are deer hunting. And that's part of the crazy things that can go on a hunting trip, and you just have to be prepared for all those different circumstances when you go to the woods.
Now it's the second day of this hunt, and the cold morning has started off slow, but Wade is optimistic about the afternoon's hunt.
Here's the scenario. The season's about over. Still got a tag or 2 left. This is a time of the year when the bucks are basically, the rut's over, the breeding whole cycle's over. Even the late does are pretty much done. They're going to be out on the food sources. So a lot of times you can see big concentrations of deer. This little scenario here is just a perfect place for deer to come off their bedding area, spend a lot of time feeding. We haven't seen any real, you know, mature older deer that are, you know, right on that list of what we would want to shoot this late in the year. Kind of running out of time, so, you know, may have to be one of those deals where you knock down a doe to help fill the freezer, or we may get lucky, tag a buck. Just have to sit and see. It's about 1:45 right now. The sun's not going to set till 6, so we've got a pretty good long afternoon in the stand, but there's a clearing line behind us. By that I mean the clouds are just going to be moving out. And when that clear gets in, a lot of times those deer will really get up on their feet. You know, it'll become a bluebird day. Those deer will get up on their feet and really feed. Tonight's low is supposed to be down around 12. So, you know, you mix all that together and start looking at it from a recipe scenario, good chance you're going to have a lot of deer coming right to left, being out in front of us. So, cross our fingers. Let's see what happens.
You know, when you're in a hunting situation and you've got a mix of deer in front of you, it's just fun to watch. But when you're glassing, which is, you know, something I like to do a lot when I know there's deer back up past the deer that I'm looking at, and this is that perfect situation. A lot of thick brush with a hill, a draw that kind of goes in there, a lot of different places for deer to come. And I'm just kind of constantly studying, and way up this, it's almost like it's a little trail, but it's really more of a draw. I start to see a buck, and I was pretty sure right away that was the guy that I had been looking for.
There's our deer. You still seeing it all?
And when you start trying to target specific bucks, sometimes that can really burn you. But in the late season, even more so, because, you know, a lot of the better deer have been harvested, or they're broken up real bad from fighting, and you know, so they've been kind of taken off your hit list, for lack of a better word. But there was an 8-point that we'd had some scouting camera pictures of in the summer that actually I had encountered a couple of years prior on a handgun hunt on top of the hill that I'm actually facing right now. I don't know, probably a quarter of a mile away from where we're actually set up right here. And I'd always liked this deer. I mean, he was just kind of this old wide 8-point that was kind of a, you know, semi-dominant buck for his area there. And I don't know, he was just always a little spookier than the other ones. And I just was really kind of, he was just a deer that I liked.
Wade's been waiting to harvest a specific 8-point, and now he's showed up. Well, now it's up to Wade to pull the trigger.
You know, when you're on the spot and you know that the deer are going to come through that area, it's pretty comforting that you can take your time, get set up, make sure you're going to make a good shot. You know, I'm shooting a 308 Thompson Center Encore right now, and I mean, I'm rock steady. You got my bog set up right there. Everything's perfect. As long as I don't get busted by one of the, you know, does that are just kind of milling around all in the area, because there are deer and 360 degrees around us right now. They're just doing deer things, you know, just kind of milling around. And as I'm watching this buck and everything, I'm trying to find a hole between all the mesquites and all the brush to find, you know, to find a perfect shot. I'm a guy that really likes a broadside shot when I have a choice. I have shot them at all different angles, but when I get that choice and the deer are comfortable, I'm gonna do my best to wait for that moment.
Good. He's piling up right there. We got him. Got him. Got him right there. Got him right there. Got him right there. You know, we got out here yesterday, it's in the 60s. Today it's in the 20s. And it's, I mean, we saw a lot of deer both times. And he's just trying to find that right one. That's an old deer. You could tell him I actually have a history with that deer. I saw that deer a couple of years ago when I was hunting with the TC Encore with the handgun, the model in 308, and I never got a shot at him. And then to see him today, after all of that, he came in, I recognized him right away, seen scouting pictures of him before, and he got out there where all those deer were feeding and milling around, and I couldn't get a shot. There was just too many deer, and that happens a lot in these big food plot type scenarios, you know, when they get on a food source in the winter, and they kind of got spooked. They got spooked on us. I mean, we're trying to get a shot. I was telling Rusty I couldn't get a shot, and they eased up, but they came right on back down, and he cleared perfect in that hole right there, and the old TC Encore did the trick. Bam! That was gonna eat good. Fill the freezer. Smoke that one.
Shot feels great. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind I have smoked this deer, and he's going up the hill, and I mean, he's running up straight up the hill, and he immediately starts, you know, plowing, and he's done. He's down, and you know, excitement is reeling in. But I'm actually a little sad. I know it's my last deer hunt for the year. I'm out of tags, time to go fishing, and as we're walking up on this deer, something that's only happened to me one other time in my life becomes pretty apparent. So I had this happen one other time in my life, late in the season. You know, everybody knows. Deer drop their antlers, and this deer plowing through the brush. Look, there's one of his antlers right here. You can see it right there. There's his other antler right there. Knocked him plumb off while he was coming up here. I mean, and that can happen in these late season hunts. And when I watched that buck running up, I mean, he was literally just plowing all the way through here. Knocked that one off there, knocked that one off there. Let's go up here, check this out. I mean, we crushed this guy with a perfect shot. Look. Wow. I mean, they're gone. Both of them. You can see them right back there, 1 and 2. I mean, you're basically rebuilding him at this point right here. That's a big old wide deer out there. You know, I mean, when he came in, when you look at his frame in comparison to a lot of the others, he's kind of dominant off of a lot of them out there. That's him right there. And now they're detached. You can put them on, and let's make him wider. We can hold him. Let's hold him out. Let's get him way out there. But I mean, that's really cool. Regardless, a lot of people talk about it. They don't hunt for antlers. I love to have the antlers as a memento because I look at each one of them and can tell the story. But we've got them both. We got a freezer full of venison and a pair of antlers.
That's awesome, man.
That's cool. That's, like I said, that's the second time it's happened to me. Like,
Yesterday you would be surprised.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you can look at the terrain. You know, a deer plowing his head through this terrain right here, running uphill like that. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. All right, well, I got me some rattling horns. Too narrow. You need them longer. Yeah. Put him on a deal. Oh yeah.
Congratulations, Wade, on a crazy ending to that entry. for the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.